Yeah, I did. Are we muted or not?
All right, now everybody can hear everybody. Oh my god, I'm so terrible. All right.
Finally, you agree
So
something.
so let me repeat this, okay? I literally have been having a problem with monetization of these live shows because
Hmm.
every time we do this show, I pick like some Japanese pop thing that I found on YouTube, and then each show gets flagged for not monetize for monetization or copyright problems. So I literally made this beat like 5 minutes before the show started, just for background music, and I'll probably try and make like little beats, excuse me, on and off just to take us through shows and stuff. So I'm gonna have to make like 12 more, but hopefully this doesn't get too repetitive, and then otherwise I'll just stop it.
Copy that.
What?
Copy that.
I'll copy that. All right, call everybody. Introducing Call to the Show.
And what an intro.
we got we got Jet here, and
Hey, Jet.
I'm gonna leave this one comment on the Book of Boba, and then we'll move on because we can't talk about it yet. But the earlier episodes of Book of Boba were really disappointing to me, and I had like it. You have to have seen the Power Rangers in Book of Boba, and it's those 4 or 5 teenagers that he like saves or whatever, and they each have their little like bike, and it's colored like green and red and blue. Do you remember that episode? Does anybody remember that episode?
Yes, they're like in front of the fire, and he goes to confront them.
Yeah. And then he starts rolling with them, or they start rolling with him, and it's like this little teenage Power Ranger crew. Their stupid little bikes. I hated that episode. I'm sorry. It made it so bad.
You like it overall?
All right. So what are we talking about today?
So we're talking about Spidey.
You talking about Spidey? All right.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I gotta be honest, and you guys are probably gonna hate me, but like I really didn't. It was forgettable to me. Is that messed up?
What do you mean?
What?
You're saying
I
you're
thought.
saying the movie was forgettable, or
Yeah, I thought the movie was forgettable.
really?
Yeah, against popular opinion. What was it called? I don't even remember what it was called. No Way Home.
Yeah, no way.
Was
Home.
that your was that your initial reaction, or did it
No,
just
I
over the weeks you're
initially
like,
enjoyed it. I initially enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing the Spider-Man, Min? Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
of the other universes, and seeing some of those Spider-Men do things to redeem their like character arc, and I mean it was cool. Toby looked way too much like a nerd, but Toby was my generation Spider-Man. I don't know about you. What Spider-Man do you identify with as like your Spider-Man of your time?
Mine is Tom Holland.
Really?
How old are you? 12?
He's 12. He's 12. Oh, no.
Yeah, keeping the young vibe. Huh?
No. I will say Tom Holland is the one that like I believe is the Spider-Man that I always wanted. Okay.
Okay.
But the one that I got was Tobey Maguire. because that was the one that came out, you know, when I was younger.
Yeah.
It was also a time when like twerking became a thing, and it was also a time when
Yeah, it was a time when the Spider-Man kiss was famous too, right? The inverted kiss. You remember?
oh yeah, that was iconic.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that was like iconic.
like looking at both of
Yeah.
those actors today,
Yeah.
I don't think Mary Jane's really cute. Tobey Maguire is not very good looking. I don't know.
What are we saying? The movie? You're saying that you thought the movie was forgettable?
Yeah, man. I think that well, it didn't. There's a few things that didn't make sense to me out of the movie. All right, and I completely forgot about it because I thought it was forgettable, and now I don't remember any of it. But the whole premise of the story. Now I remember. Okay, Doctor Strange
Yeah.
is in it, right? And remind me what the hell the start of it was. It was something that
So basically, what happens was Tom Holland, the Spider-Man. So he and his friends don't get an admission to Mighty because he got a lot of bad mark because his identity was revealed as Spider-Man. Okay. So now he goes to Doctor Strange and says like, "Hey, you know what? Can you make them all forget I am Spider-Man?" So then during that process, what happens is he gives an saying that Zendaya needs to remember. Like some of his friends need to remember who he is, not everyone. So during that time, the spell gets screwed up, and then he opens a portal to all the multi-universe, and multi-universe people come in over here.
okay,
Like that's the
right. Exactly that. Okay, all right. He like, you know, people go kind of nuts that, you know, he's Spider-Man or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Doctor Strange and says, "Hey, can you fix this?" And Doctor Strange laissez-faire kind of like, you know, I'll try and do something, but like I'm not going to warn you that like, hey, you shouldn't talk while I do this like epically dangerous spell. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it just seems negligent.
Oh yeah.
And
Right.
then he kind of just says, "Well, you gotta go fix this on your own." What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the premise was bad. Yeah, I mean, this is a very, it's very simple. It's very small, right?
Yeah, I just thought it didn't have enough weight to like actually carry a story. Like it was basically a mistake that Doctor Strange made, not Spider-Man. And Spider-Man got all the shit for it. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on
Well,
that.
he disrupted the spell though.
Okay, he
So,
disrupted the
Spider-Man-
spell once, right? And at that point,
Yeah.
Doctor Strange could have said, no, he disrupted it a few times. But the first time, he could have said something like, "Hey, don't you fucking talk because you could basically end the universe if you say another word." Do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
this is...
Right.
He had to have known the implications of like doing a spell like this. He just had... I just don't buy that he didn't know. He was fucking with fire. And
Well, who didn't know?
Doctor Strange.
I think he knew though.
Okay, but he didn't draw any boundaries.
I think he knew, but he didn't anticipate Peter he didn't anticipate Peter interfering as much as he did in the spell.
But he should have told him before, you cannot change the spell.
But why would he assume that this kid is gonna interfere in the spell?
All right.
I'm still not saying this is good.
I know. I mean, I appreciate you talking about this. My point. Oh shit, my face. My point is that he's performing a spell where he knows is verbally what does it say? Well, Doctor Strange was in Infinity War with Peter. Yes, he was. He's performing a spell that is verbally sensitive. You know what I mean? If I were to, if I don't know, this is an extreme example. If there were some robbers in my house and I knew that like, if I made any kind of noise, they would know that I was like there, and like my partner or somebody came into a room, I would immediately tell them to shut the fuck up in the quietest possible way.
Okay.
And this is basically the equivalent, right? Like any interruption of the spell could set things off monumentally dangerously. And I don't know. He just doesn't do it. And then he blames Peter for it.
Probably it's removed in the edit. I don't know. The premise. Probably there is a bigger story behind it, and we are just removed of that. We don't know.
I don't know. I just don't see it like that. I see it like he tries to help Peter. Peter messes with the spell because he's like a little kid. He's very immature.
Yeah.
And basically messes things up. And then I believe Peter like messes with Doctor Strange to trap him, right? At some point, because he wants to do something else with these people, these villains that are coming into the universe.
Oh yeah, he wants to help him.
Yeah,
he wants to help them. Doctor Strange wants to send them back.
Yeah,
but he's not like playing it all on Peter, but Peter's also screwing him over. A lot of it is, I mean, I agree with the fact that the premise is kind of trash, but I think it's just like Spider-Man. It's basically like Spider-Man so immature that he doesn't even know how to like accept help, and like him and Doctor Strange together are like two idiots. And now you have all these. Now you basically made an excuse to bring back all the fan favorites from the past, which is when the movie starts to get good. The whole beginning of the movie is like meh, but they could have thought of a lot of different concepts for a multiverse and for that to happen. I think it was a little bit weak, but I think that when you actually get to the meat of the movie and the part that everyone was waiting for, I think it was very entertaining. And I think they fixed a lot of problems with the Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah, I also appreciate the transition. It was a transitionary movie from him being immature to more serious.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can see
and
that
a much needed one.
Yeah, you can see that towards the end. And for that, I think they handled it well.
I enjoy Holland in the Avengers movies. His movies, not so much. I don't really like any of them except this last one. But
Really?
The only reason why I like this last one is because the other Spider-Men were in it.
No, I like the one with Iron Man 2, where he gives the suit.
Spider-Man 2 from...
Not 2.
No, you're talking about Iron Man gives him the suit, and that's the first one, right?
Yeah, I
Homecoming.
think
Homecoming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed all the Tom Holland movies, to be completely honest about it. I always felt that he was more representative of the Spider-Man from the comics and TV shows.
I mean, he was a decent Spider-Man. I just think the movies weren't that. I don't think that the actual representation of Spider-Man in the movies was accurate to the comics at all. It was very much like a way of Sony telling Marvel, Marvel telling Sony, this is our character, and we're gonna make him Iron Man's bitch now. Which he was for like 3 movies.
Yeah, that
which
was
in the
kinda
comic,
nice.
Spider-Man doesn't need Iron Man. Like Spider-Man's like one of the most popular Marvel characters. He's the A-lister. Iron Man was a B-lister until the MCU. So
Yeah.
I'm just a big Spider-Man fan, and I don't feel like these movies until this one really did him justice and took the character seriously.
Aside from him being Iron Man's bitch, which is true, I think what felt more similar to the character of the comics was just Tom Holland being young, kind of immature, talking a lot at inappropriate times, and I feel like that's what he did quite often. And I think that's the part where, like, I felt the previous movies never really gave him that personality.
Well, Toby definitely didn't have that. Toby was kind of a classic superhero, wide-eyed, big blue-eyed, like Boy Scout, and it worked. But a lot of comic Spider-Man fanatics were always like, "Yeah, you know, these movies are great, but like Toby's just not the Spider-Man of the comics." And then you had Garfield, who was like a sarcastic hipster.
Yeah, I enjoyed him though. I thought he was a step closer to the personality, but not quite.
I actually think he's the best. I think Garfield might be the best Spider-Man. I think Tom Holland's also fine. I think Garfield looks great in the suit. He looks so wiry and like he just has a great look. And they actually gave him one of the best suits too. Like it's based on like the '90s comics.
What was that Spider-Man? Garfield had the best stunt actor.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 and 1.
Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, I guess he was super scrawny, which is probably more in line with. I also thought his Mary Jane was cuter too.
Emma Stone.
Yeah.
He didn't have he did have a Mary Jane, but they cut her out of the movie.
They killed her.
No. It was Gwen Stacy. It wasn't Mary Jane.
Oh, that's right.
In the movie, they tried to make it like in the new movie. They were like, "Oh, Gwen was my MJ." But that wasn't true because they even had an MJ. The girl that played MJ was the girl from Divergent, Shailene Woodley. Mm-hmm. She actually filmed scenes for Amazing Spider-Man 2, but it was just too long and they cut the scenes out of the movie. So there was an MJ in that movie at one point.
All right, let's talk about what your favorite villain was in the movie.
Okay.
Mr. Carl.
What the hell is Carl? Anyway, go ahead, Carl.
What?
Huh?
What was the question?
Favorite villain.
Who's your
from the
favorite
movie?
villain?
Oh, villain. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite villain or probably the Green Goblin?
Yeah.
Probably.
I think the actor. What's his name?
Willem Dafoe.
Yes, he did amazing in this movie.
Yeah, he was. Because like still I remember like how did he survive though? Like he died in like all the villains died, right? So how did they come back again?
They never explained that.
Well,
Right? Yeah.
no, they explained it.
Did they?
Yeah, so every villain comes into the universe right before they die. So as soon as they get returned, they basically instantly die.
So if they go back to the universe, they die. So what was the point of all this?
Well, that's why Tom Holland's Spider-Man was trying to, quote, save them all, because they all got transported at the very instant that they were about to die.
Okay.
And he knew that if they sent them back, they would all die immediately.
Okay.
So, but I think the Green Goblin in this, in and out of the suit, was my favorite villain and character. I would say even in the whole movie, in the entire movie.
The entire movie, yeah. I think he was the one, yeah.
I also didn't really understand how the sand dude, what's his name?
San.
Is he just called Sandman? Sandman, Spider-Man. In the beginning of the movie, they kind of are okay and cool with each other for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, because in the end of Spider-Man 3, he helps Spider-Man.
Okay, but he also dies, doesn't he?
Not at the hands of Spider-Man. Actually, I don't even know if he dies.
Huh.
I haven't seen that movie in eons.
Eons. I mean, I feel like if you just throw water on Sandman, he'd be, like, done.
There was a video game for Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
And you had to fight. It was a Spider-Man game, and you had to fight Sandman. And literally, all you got to do is kick the hydrant open, and he dies by a hydrant. Yeah,
that's funny.
Yep.
What do you guys think? The end of the movie with Venom. Did you guys see the after credits?
Yep.
How do you think that all ties together?
I'm a little disappointed that it's not going to be Tom Hardy, or maybe it'll be a different Tom Hardy. I hope it's Tom Hardy as Venom. I like him as Venom.
You don't think it's going to be Tom Hardy? By the way, I have always had a hard on for Tom Hardy.
That's great. He got transported back, and the symbiote got left, like a little piece of the symbiote. So, I don't.
Shit. I didn't understand the significance of that. I feel really stupid.
Yeah, so I don't know who the symbiote's first going to go on Spider-Man, and then after that, I have to find Eddie Brock. But I don't know who the Eddie Brock of this universe is, and I hope they don't use a different person, because that would be lame.
Yeah, that would be lame. Did you guys see Venom 2?
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. What do you think?
Not bad. It's really short.
Huh.
It's super short. Could have been a lot better, but I didn't think it was anything amazing. It was all right.
So Venom is like the negative guy in the whole film. So how does it? And Venom and Spidey.
He's like a anti-hero, right? Sometimes he's a
Venom
villain.
starts out as a villain.
Yeah.
And then becomes an anti-hero. Yeah.
I actually, growing up, I always really liked Venom, mainly for his look and abilities. That said, I think I find myself really, as I look in retrospectively at my youth, I found that I had always been really attracted to the anti-hero flavor of characters without even knowing it. And I think maybe I just enjoyed their look or abilities, and didn't really look into their story arc at all.
Right.
But I had always enjoyed the one of my favorite movies, and it's probably the shittiest movie, is Spawn. And they did a live action Spawn, and it was really bad. But I thought it was the coolest thing when I was younger. Like,
So did I.
yeah. Yeah, I thought it was the coolest
I saw
thing.
it in the movies.
Cape fucking turns into like things. He's got chains coming out and stuff. He he's the devil's soldier or commander or whatever. And then I saw the animated movies, and I thought they were really cool.
Those are really good though.
Yeah, they are really good. Carl, have you seen Spawn?
No, I didn't. That's my homework for today.
You should watch it. It's cheesy. It's cheesy as fuck now, but back then it was. I don't know. I was young and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Yeah. Speaking of anti-heroes, I know I'm going on a segue. I don't know if you guys want to do more character exploration on Spider-Man. What do you guys think?
Wait, I have a fun fact though about what you just said.
Okay.
So Venom, Spawn, Carnage, they were all created by the same artist, Todd McFarlane.
Oh. Whoa.
So he was drawing Spider-Man when like Venom was
That's
created.
right. That's right. I remember that. Yeah. He drew.
And he left Spider-Man
to do Spawn.
I made Spawn. Yep.
That's so cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. Maybe that's why I really like the suits, man. He made Spider-Man. I saw an interview with him and he was talking about how Spawn came to be. And the guy just has always had a very, very a big interest in creating dark characters. And so I think it makes sense how like he just made something as cool as Venom at the time and as cool as Spawn. Yeah.
Yeah, Spawn was super dark, especially the series.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really dark. And I think that's what he wanted. You got to give him credit for like going out on a limb and making this. I heard it wasn't really received well initially. Yeah.
He's been trying to make a new Spawn movie, that's more accurate to the comics.
Yeah, he's been trying to do that for a while. Wasn't he gonna star like Jamie Foxx in it or something?
Yeah, and I keep hearing, it's greenlit, but I don't know. I guess COVID put a real kibosh on it for now.
Yeah. It's supposed to be more like the comics and more like the animated series where the focus isn't on Spawn himself. It's just more of like everything that happens around Spawn. And you kind of see Spawn in the background as this like mysterious character, which could be good or bad. I really just want to see more Spawn. To be honest, I want to just see him all the time. It's just such a cool character.
Yeah, I would love to see Jamie Foxx play Spawn.
I think he would do well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are we still talking about Spider-Man?
You want to do a character deep dive, or you want to go into something else?
We could do a character deep dive. I do want to do an honorable mention here since we're talking about since we're talking about anti-heroes, I've been watching HBO Max Peacemaker.
I heard it's not bad.
It's pretty fucking great. It's pretty epic. It's on the lines of like it's supposed to be super cheesy or whatever, you know, but John Cena it's great watching him do the character. I think he does it. I mean, I have no idea what Peacemaker is as a comic at all. So I'm just talking about it as a show. It's kind of like Cobra Kai in that like it's cheesy and it's nostalgic. There's a lot of 80s hair metal references. I mean, he rolls around with like a fucking eagle called Eagly.
That's pretty funny.
And he's got like this like unwanted partner called Vigilante, who is just a mass murderer, but he tries to channel it into just killing villains or whatever. And the whole show is like cheesy, a little slapstick. He has like a father who's like racist or whatever. He's supposed to be like the great dragon or whatever, white dragon. And there's a lot of like instances where like, you know, that like Peacemaker is not PC at all. And
yeah.
And it's funny to see the show, it like push the boundaries of being PC, where like you still end up liking Peacemaker and you just know that he's just a dude who is, you know, doesn't really mean what he says when he says pussy. He just doesn't know that it's not something that you're allowed to say anymore in 2022. Or it's not PC anymore to say, right? So he does this a lot throughout the show, and you see like the other characters kind of like correct him or make him out to be an asshole, and then as the show progresses, all the characters kind of just realize he's you know, maybe not that bad.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because, you know, in a time where everything must be PC, comedy's kind of gone to shit. You have this show that explores those boundaries a little bit and is getting away with it.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad of a show. A lot of nostalgic. I highly recommend it. And John Cena is pretty funny in it.
Yeah, I saw him as Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, and that show wasn't that bad, but I think, or that movie wasn't that bad, but, and I think it's written by the same person, but I think that DC has struggled to produce something that's lighthearted in any kind of way without being just outright ridiculous, like not even in a good way. And I think Peacemaker is a halfway decent version of something lighthearted from DC.
Oh, is it good? I have to watch it. It's on Max, right?
HBO
The latest
Max,
one?
HBO Max, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
One lighthearted DC movie I thought I enjoyed was Shazam.
Yeah, I did too. I don't even know how to spell Shazam.
That wasn't bad.
Shazam.
Okay, damn. Okay.
But what? Did you see that? Call?
No. I heard it was very funny though.
What happened to it?
They're gonna come out with a sequel.
Are they going to come out with a sequel?
Yeah.
I always like the concept. Always like the concept.
So
It's been a while since I saw this. You know, since we're talking about DC and Marvel like parallels, I did see Eternals. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Carl?
No.
Dude,
Like I'm a bad student in the class, you know.
I think we just watched. We're just pieces of shit who watch too much TV. We're just
No, I'm about to do a lot of catching up to do. Yeah. Mhm.
I just the Eternals sucked.
Oh really?
Don't watch it. Angelina Jolie looks gorgeous in it, but that show reminded me of like that movie reminded me of like how much I hate Superman. Fucking hate Superman.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
He's a piece of shit, dude.
Why?
He doesn't. He just has like ridiculous amounts of power. He's not that interesting as like a individual, and I think he ends up being a threat at some point in time. By the way, I'm sorry. I'm just scrolling through Shazam, and I realized that at some point he's a girl. There's just so much shit that they could do with this. So much shit.
Are you saying that the guy Icarus in Eternals was Superman?
Basically, dude shot like
I mean, that's what everybody was saying on the internet.
you, and then you had the Flash there, right? Then you had that inventor dude, and I had no idea what he fucking did. By the way, what's his name? The Bollywood guy?
Oh, the Desi guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like
Yeah.
he like says, I don't
Come
really
on.
agree with what's going on here, so I'm just gonna bounce, and you don't see him for the rest of the movie. What?
Really?
What the fuck? Then why did we even show you in the movie? Why are you here? What? I don't.
Hey, Colin, you should watch that movie. It's great. It's phenomenal.
Oh, sure.
I don't think you should.
Best Marvel movie.
Don't watch it. Do yourself a favor. Don't fucking watch it. And don't watch any Superman movies. Fucking Superman. Piece of shit. He's just.
All right, so what's next on the docket?
I have no idea. I kind of got lost here. What?
I never got to talk about my favorite character in the Spider-Man movie.
Let's do it.
So yours was the Goblin, Kyle.
Yes.
Solid gold. What was yours?
It was. I thought he was the Goblin, in and out of the suit, was my favorite by far. I would.
Yeah,
agree with,
I
would
mean-
agree with Carl.
I'm gonna have to say that my favorite character in the movie was also the Goblin.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought Willem Dafoe brought another dimension. I always enjoyed his Green Goblin. I
Me
loved
too.
the original Spider-Man
Me too.
movie, but I thought he just had the chance to really like bring a lot more dimensions to the character and do a lot more with it, and make it a lot darker, which is closer to the comic because it's a very dark character in the comic. And I just thought he knocked it out of the park, and kind of like proved
Did he?
to me like why he's always been my favorite villain of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Just the part where he kills like Aunt May. I mean, it's spoilers, but it's like, man, that because in the comic he kills Gwen Stacy, and that's like the big deal. So like the death from Amazing Spider-Man 2 is supposed to be him killing. It's adapted from that comic of the Green Goblin killing Gwen Stacy. But anyway, and this he kind of kills Aunt May, and it's just like a great replacement for killing Uncle Ben. Because we didn't have an Uncle Ben, or we did, or we didn't. I don't really remember.
No, we didn't have
But,
an Uncle Ben. We didn't. I honestly don't know what happened. I think that's something I don't understand about the new Spider-Man movies is what happened to Uncle Ben. Also, I've had
Well,
the
Aunt May
biggest-
is
crush on Marissa Tomei for forever, since Cousin Vinny. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, you and everyone else, right?
And everyone else. I just can't believe they killed her. I can't believe they killed her. Oh my God.
They whacked her out.
No.
But it just was, it really just kind of, like, that's, the movie really got going at that point. See, that's the thing, like, this movie had a lot of stupid stuff in the beginning, but, like, throughout the movie, there was a lot of really good stuff, so I can't say it was forgettable, but I think it's a tad overrated. I don't think it's as amazing as, like, on the level of Infinity War or, like, Endgame. But I think it's pretty good. You know, I think it's like a notch below those movies.
I think this is like a foundation for something big. Just like Avengers, multiverse, they're trying to build up all of this.
Yeah, I hope they don't bring those Eternal fools back into the universe.
I want to see the guy with his husband.
I want to see Miles. I want a movie with Miles.
Morales?
Yeah. And I want the kid from Cobra Kai to play it.
Oh, Kenny?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, dude, by the way, going back to Peacemaker, they literally have a villain called Cobra Kai. I don't know if it's a joke, but they have this like super short, he looks like a kid, karate dude, and he wears a mask and his name is Cobra Kai. Hold on, let me see if I can bring him up. Yeah, no, I think Kenny from Cobra Kai would be an excellent Miles.
He looks like him.
Yeah, I think you'd do great.
What about Miguel?
No. What about Miguel? Miguel's career is over after Cobra Kai. I'm just saying.
I think a lot of those people's careers are over after Cobra Kai.
Where is that villain? I can't get a picture of him. But here he is in a green suit. He looks like a little kid, and his name is Cobra Kai. I had to do a double take because they're like Cobra Kai, and I was like, what? Did they really say Cobra Kai? Like, why would they do that? I think it's meant to be a joke, but yeah.
Wait, so what happened with Boba Fett, man? Is that you said that
Are we
the
talking
beginning
about
of it
Boba
was
Fett
very
now?
disappointing? Yeah, I think we're done with Spider-Man.
Okay. But Carl has not seen Boba Fett.
Yeah, you guys can talk.
Are you watching the stream?
I'm not watching the stream. Are you?
I just put it on, but I X'd it out.
Look, I really don't understand. Like, I think it's coming together now, but I think it had a really rough start. I think it had a really, really rough start. They spent a lot of time on, Boba Fett getting out of what is it? The lilac, little Sarlacc or whatever.
Give me a background.
Yeah.
Can you give me a background?
So
what is this about?
Boba Fett is supposed to be a bounty hunter who's done work for the Empire, and he is the son or a clone of a dude named Jango Fett, who was used to be the, I guess, seed or the original node for all the clones during the Clone Wars. So in a sense, every clone is based off of Jango Fett, and Boba Fett is is an unaltered clone of his father. And in the beginning of the show, they spend a lot of time talking about him, or showing how he gets captured by the Sand People, where he's meant to be a slave, but then gets accepted into the Sand People, into their culture. And Boba Fett seems okay with the fact that the Sand People tried to make him a slave, and then has like a change of heart about his whole entire life and what he wants to do with it, which I just didn't really buy. The dude's been pretty bad dude for a long time, or indifferent. Not bad, just indifferent. And he's also been a very silent character. So to see him constantly talking just kind of loses... I lost some of the lore of what Boba Fett was for me, and why I enjoyed watching the character. I mean, if you think about the way he was introduced, his suit was basically meant to be like George Lucas and the design team. They just made this suit, and they were supposed to make this suit be like an elite force within the Empire or whatever. And they just didn't end up doing that, and they ended up putting it on this like bounty hunter, and people loved it. And I think people loved it was because it was a cool suit. He was like really stern, very mysterious, and I think that's why people liked it. And now that the mystique is kind of gone, and you're seeing this like character that's like not as cool as I thought he would be, it just kind of ruins it. And then the surrounding characters throughout the beginning of the show is just kind of like it was okay. Everything was fine until they put in the Power Rangers. I couldn't deal. And now they've brought in the Mandalorian. Carl, have you seen the Mandalorian?
No. It's like the Star Wars, right?
Yeah, really recommend seeing it. A lot of people who weren't originally into Star Wars are getting into it because of this character. And
Should I do a background of it? Should I learn something before watching that?
No. I don't think you have to. You can just watch the Mandalorian, right, Jet? Like, you don't really have to, but like the entire show kind of combines themes of like Western and sci-fi and kind of Japanese samurai.
Yeah, I agree.
Themes.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Mandalorian is more like the Boba Fett character that you wanted to see than the actual Boba Fett character?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I thought Boba was supposed to be.
Like, we've barely seen him in the suit, Boba Fett.
Yeah. And I mean, not even that, right? Like, the Mandalorian, the way he talks, the way he kind of is very I don't know, monotone almost, matter of fact, where there's clearly more of a complex human character to... That's what it is. It's less human. Whereas Boba's now become full-blown human and political. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Not about him being a bounty hunter either.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mind necessarily that he's not a bounty hunter, but he just doesn't carry that character that I would think he would into this storyline as much. I don't know. But I do like the crossover with The Mandalorian, and I think that's where it's starting to pick up, and my interest has become peaked again because of The Mandalorian coming back, seeing Luke Skywalker, seeing Baby Yoda, seeing that whole progression was super cool. And the entire episode where The Mandalorian gets a new ship.
I didn't get to that yet.
Oh shit. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. I'm sorry. I forgot.
I didn't know you see Luke Skywalker either. But,
I'm so sorry.
You messed it up, man. I'm glad you told me because I was about to stop watching it, so maybe now I'll keep watching.
Oh, dude. Keep watching. The next 2 episodes are totally worth it. Let me just say, the episode where he gets a new ship, and I'm not going to tell you what kind of ship, I'm not going to tell you anything else about it, but let's just say it's been a long time since I've watched anything and felt like in awe. Like, you know, when you watch, Back to the Future when you were younger and you saw this like flying DeLorean and you just wanted to be in that DeLorean. You know, you'd pick up a car and like start like zooming it around like as if you were in this like flying car, right?
Yeah.
And the thrill of like seeing it go fast and stuff like that, that's what I got. And I haven't had that sense of feeling. The way it was directed, the way it was filmed, just really made me feel super thrilled. It's the same feeling I get when I like rented those fast cars over the summer, and I would take it on the highway or on a back road and just like gun it, take it from like 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds or whatever. It was the same feeling when I was just watching it. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Well, I guess I gotta finish it. I'm up to the episode where Fennec, Shan, and their backstory is told.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know
there's
what
a
I'm
lot
talking
of
about?
that. There's a lot of that backstory stuff that's just like, I don't care. I don't understand how that really helps.
Yeah.
But
And they steal his ship back. Boba Fett steals his ship back.
yeah, they steal his shit back.
That wasn't bad. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was all right. That ship, though, that's an awkward fucking ship.
Slave One.
Yeah, you see the part where he's like trying to back out of the opening or the gate, and you have to realize that he's literally oriented upwards, so he's staring at a ceiling. I always thought the chair rotated. Yeah. I thought it had like 2 modes where it was like laying down mode, but it's not. It just seems like a really impractical vehicle for a lot of things.
Yeah. So is Mandalorian in the next episode, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man. And a lot of shit happens. A lot of shit happens. And that's and then it ties it back to Boba Fett, and so Mandalorian is in with Boba Fett in the next upcoming episode.
That's pretty cool. What about the shorties, the girls, the girl Mandalorians?
So, you don't really see much of the Mandalorians except for the next episode that you're going to see. He travels to this incredible. So like, he travels to this place. I don't know what it's called, but if you look up like, hold on, like 1970s space, world, like, I don't know, like retro space cities and stuff. Aha. This one. This is a science fiction concept for like a space world or space station, and it's basically this giant ring. And it's basically this giant ring in space. Okay, so if you look at like 1970s concept art for space colonization, they basically have these giant rings with like build like its own little ecosystem and environment. And this is basically the town that they go to. And it's super cool to see because, you know, you can look at this artwork and think this is a wild concept, but it's another thing to see it when it's like painted with modern technology and modern visual effects. Yeah. So yeah.
Are you hearing something on the screen?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, look at
I
these.
didn't realize that.
Look at these cities.
Oh.
You know what I often wonder?
Yeah,
like,
they're pretty cool.
why are we going like this could work, right? In theory, I guess. Like, I don't know, we've been thinking about moving to Mars. Why don't we just like build a gigantic station like this? Colonize space, and then it doesn't matter where you are. Anyways.
What is that in short? What is this?
It's they are concept art for space colonization. And they're
Holy smokes.
they have like these you know, you'll see them in animes and you'll see them they're basically these giant rings that spin in space, and they have, you know, it's like a giant tube, and you know, I think spinning in space gives it gravity, and then they have like its own environment, or its own ecosystem within these tubes. And you know, I think it's a very interesting concept to colonize space.
So,
I mean,
would you go to Mars?
I don't really understand the I don't really understand the obsession with going to Mars. What do you think about it?
Because I think that's the as per all the intellectuals, that's the only habitable planet apart from Earth. That's where we can habitate. That is why Mars was chosen.
Yeah. But I mean, is it habitable though? Like, you're basically living in a tube. You know, they'd have to terraform the whole thing.
Yeah, Elon Musk says just nuke the Mars, and then it should be habitable.
What you say, nuke Mars?
Yeah. Yeah, he did legitimately say that. Yes.
Yo, just fucking. I mean, work on colonizing the ocean. I feel like colonizing the ocean makes a lot more sense because it's basically a protective layer, the ocean. If there's a storm above water, right? If you're deep enough in the ocean, you don't even notice the storm. It's like the same concept, and I've heard Musk talk about this multiple times. He talks about those tubes that they put under Las Vegas.
The Boring Company.
The Boring Company.
Yeah.
So the question he gets all the time is like, what about earthquakes? And he says, well, when you're deep enough underground,
it it doesn't show up.
it doesn't affect it, right? I don't know so much about that, but I mean, I think it's the same concept when you're underwater. If you're deep enough, you have this natural shield from the elements. And if you're talking about colonizing Mars, where you're going to have to live in a tube anyways, why not live in the tube underwater? Seems a lot cheaper.
Yeah, the point was to make it multi-planetary system. So because what happens, just like how dinosaurs become extinct, what if something comes in on the Earth, so comet or something? Just like Don't Look Up, Leonardo DiCaprio's film, right? Something comes in, and then.
But that's my point. Is if you're underwater and something comes, you have protection by the ocean.
Oh, not necessarily. A lot of creatures, even underwater, could just go away because of anything which is out of control, right?
Well, I don't know. Like, are you concerned about the water freezing over or the water boiling?
Boiling, freezing, because global warming. It could be anything. Or it's in lava getting into the system, or it could be some poisonous element getting into the ocean, which makes it inhabitable. All the fishes go away, coral reefs go away. It could be anything. So what happens in that extreme conditions?
The same thing that happens on Mars, because Mars has nothing there. It's already in those extreme conditions. Like, if you have the technology to like colonize Mars, you should have the capability. I said no name. I know what you're saying. There's crazy pressure underwater, but like, I don't understand why it wouldn't be possible to develop technology to deal with that pressure. You don't have to be super deep underwater.
Yeah, super deep underwater. The idea is it's something as a backup. You heard this concept of cold storage of all the seeds of the world, the plants.
All the seeds in the world. Okay, so like a backup idea to go to another.
Yeah.
There's
one in Antarctica.
I see that.
Yeah, I've seen that place.
What about space colonization? What about, I'm farting by the way, but what about space colonization? Why don't we just figure out how to colonize space? Create artificial planets.
Starting point of that. We do have a space station, right? And I think Virgin Galactic, all these companies are working on space tourism. It's all getting there.
Yeah. I think investing in something like that and maybe terraforming the Earth.
You know how much it costs to go into the space?
Yes, I know how much it costs to go in space, but I think that traveling to Mars almost is like, it seems like a pipe dream. It seems like you're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Like, I know that it's like the closest habitable place, but you have to do so much work for it. You might as well try doing that work someplace else.
Yeah, must be people know something which we don't know, something which they know.
Probably.
Right? Yeah, probably.
Probably. Or they're selling a dream. I like the idea. Easier for people to think about Mars. Well, sorry, go on, Jet.
I like that idea though of like going underwater, kind of like in Star Wars, the first one, Phantom Menace. The what's his name, Jar Jar Binks and his people, how they live in these underwater colonies. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like the idea of like having an airship, like a giant airship that just floats around.
Yeah, right. Do you remember
Yeah.
the movie Waterworld?
Of course, I remember it. Yeah.
How about you, Carl?
No idea. Bro.
So Waterworld was basically, it was touted as like one of the worst movies in history, but this
Oh, really?
was one of my favorite movies. This was literally one of my favorite movies. I thought it was the coolest thing. This guy like lived on his like boat, and the world. Okay, so the premise is this: the world has been. It's a post-apocalyptic scenario where the world is essentially taken over by global warming. It's essentially flooded. The entire world is underwater. There's no land. And humans evolve. And some humans evolve to having gills, including the main character.
Wait, really?
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
what's his face? Kevin Costner or whatever. His character has gills, and he can breathe underwater. And there, I think that it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's like a fight for resources, and it's very Max. What the fuck?
Mad Max.
But yeah, in the future where the polar ice caps have melted and Earth is almost entirely submerged, a mutated mariner fights starvation and outlaw smokers and reluctantly helps a woman and a young child or a young girl. That's the premise of the movie. And I thought it was a really good movie. I mean, it was fun. Like, I don't know. I was really young. But yeah. Anyways, I forgot where I was even going with this, but it kind of just reminded me of that. Except they live over the water. I mean,
I have to watch that. Yeah.
if global warming's happening, right, in this way, where the polar ice caps are melting and the world will be submerged, then, I think that's even a better argument for like going underwater. Like, I guess you're talking about if an asteroid comes and like literally breaks the Earth, or the Earth's core decides to like, like break or something like that. I mean, I guess in those scenarios it makes sense to want to be on another planet.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to have a backup plan, right?
Yeah.
Human race is expensive. Right? Yeah.
So, did you guys hear about the Mars One program?
No.
So, like 10 years
What's
ago,
that?
before like SpaceX was like the thing that it is today, there was this program called Mars One, and it was supposed to be a colonization effort for Mars. And basically,
Who was handling that?
it was
who
like
was
a
leading that?
syndicate. It was a bunch of people, but like they basically designed these pods, and there was a one-way trip to Mars, and you would colonize.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a one-way trip to Mars, and they would send supplies and all that shit. But get this, the biggest part about it was the applications were completely open. Anybody could apply to go and be a part of this, get a ticket, a one-way ticket to Mars. The catch was that you would never return to Earth.
Holy smoke. And?
Well, it never really went through. I know they went through a bunch of candidates and stuff like that, and it was like a nonprofit, but like, obviously they didn't meet their goal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mars One was a small private Dutch organization that received money from investors by claiming it would use it to land the first humans on Mars and leave them there to establish a permanent human colony. From its announcement in 2012 to its bankruptcy in early 2019, it is estimated to have received tens of millions of dollars. The organization was not an aerospace company. Hold on. This is ridiculous.
Oh
It's
my
crazy.
goodness.
The organization was not an aerospace company and did not manufacture hardware. Oh shit, so all the renderings were also just renderings? Mars One consisted of two entities, the not-for-profit Mars One Foundation and the for-profit company Mars One Ventures, which was the controlling stockholder of the for-profit Interplanetary Media Group that also managed the broadcasting rights. The Mars One Foundation, based in the Netherlands, managed the project. The organization had 4 employees, so where did all this fucking money go? And intended to make profits by selling media documentaries about
Probably it's like a shell company.
the
It's a
first
shell company, probably.
the first mission was estimated by its CEO Bas Lansdorp to cost about $6 billion as of the 2010s. The concept had been criticized by scientists, engineers, and those in aerospace industry as glossing over logistics and medical concerns and lacking critical concepts about hardware. The concept had been called a suicide mission by academia, the spaceflight industry, and international news. On 15th January 2019, a court decision was settled to liquidate the for-profit company, bankrupting it in the process. That's crazy. Whatever. So this was a pipe
I
dream.
think that was a facade. No, I think that was a facade. That's all.
Yo, there's tons of
It was
ways to
just a
generate
backfit.
power down there, dude. Like,
Where? In the Mars?
no, in under the sea. I said no names talking about
Okay.
like how would you get power down there? He thinks a hydroelectric would not be enough. Probably wouldn't be enough. But like you've also got like you don't even know what the surface is going to be like, I guess. And you know, you could still have sun, you might not have sun, you might have wind, you might not have anything, but you could also do just nuclear power.
Yeah,
So
be
is
my Aquaman. Be an Aquaman under the sea.
Anyways, this project was crazy. So basically, it was a one-way trip, and I fantasized about going. When I
Oh,
was
did you
younger.
really?
Yeah. Because, dude, think about it. You get to Mars. You're only there with like a few people.
You be in the history.
You can be the king. You can
Yeah.
kill all the men and just have the women. It would just be you and the women. You'd be the
Crazy.
king of Mars.
Yeah, King of Mars, yeah.
And nobody could do anything about it. I don't know.
Good idea, though. I mean,
There's no food there.
Well, so they were talking about doing a whole bunch of things. And I think Kyle, you're right. There's a Forbes article about how the project fooled the world. But they basically
fooled
made
the
these
world, yeah,
renderings of how they were going to get there. And, they had ideas of these like pods and like little greenhouses and stuff. And it all looked good on like in
it's all
renderings,
paperwork.
but
It's all render, yeah.
nobody couldn't really actually execute on any of it. But they were recruiting astronauts. They had a whole program. I don't know. You see these pods? It's crazy. What are there? 6 pods? Let's just assume that there's like 2 or 3 people in each pod. I
It's like
kill
Avatar,
all
isn't
the
it?
people I don't like on one pod, and then I just go to each pod and I kill these other people,
Never go.
and then I basically have my own kingdom in Mars. Anybody who comes, I make them submit to the laws of Mars, which have been made by me. All right. I don't know. Would you go to Mars on a one-way ticket? I said no name. Would you go to Mars on a one-way ticket? Jet, would you?
No.
Me, if I have a SpaceX rocket, probably.
If you had a what?
I should say, not a one-way ticket. Probably a rocket. Yeah. At least I need a hope to come back home.
You need a hope?
Yeah.
Your home's supposed to be Mars, man. It's for the betterment of humanity, man. It's so that we have a backup planet, like you said.
Backup planet, yeah.
So we have a backup planet.
Backup planet, yeah.
I don't know. What happened with Bezos'
Blue Origin?
space flight? What was that deal?
He's just chilling with his girlfriend, that's all. I don't think he's pretty serious. He just retired from his corporate life. Uh-huh.
Okay, but like, is this company actually doing something? Is it progressing?
Yeah, it is. Not significantly, but it is doing something. The Blue Origin, I think they're doing some exploration, space exploration.
It looks like a penis, man. Like it looks like a penis. Like, look at this thing, dude. It's got a mushroom head and everything. Like, at least with the SpaceX ships, they look like rocket ships. This looks like a giant penis in the air. It's fucking crazy how much this looks like a penis.
Do you ever want to go on that space?
Oh, 100%. 100%. You wouldn't want to go into space?
Yeah, but it's just expensive. It's $400,000, I think. So it's for a space to experience flightlessness.
That's it?
Yeah, $100,000 for the reservation and $400K, I think so. Yeah.
Go into space. 400K?
Yeah, check out the Virgin. Yeah, I think Virgin Galactic has an option where you can make a reservation and you can do stuff like that.
Yo, that's not a lot of money to get
That's
to
not.
space.
You want to go? Are you gonna book a?
Yo, if I had if my net worth was $100 million, I wouldn't even blink and spend $400,000 on a ticket to space.
Obviously.
I mean, even if my net worth was like 50 million, 20 million, right? Like 100%. That's like a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah. Everyone went there. Richard Branson went in. Bezos went in.
I mean,
there is this. Yeah.
So what are the rules? Can you have sex on the flight?
Are you kidding me? You just take a shuttle. You just go there, experience weightlessness like for 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then come back.
Wait, it's only 1 minute?
You cannot do. I don't think it's for a long time. I think it's like 5-10 minutes. I don't think it's for a long time.
5-10 minutes is enough to experience weightlessness and have sex.
Yeah.
So I think that's worth it. So let's see.
Why do you have a fantasy of having sex in space, man?
Well, because
why do you?
Oh, shit! Why? Hold up. Why wouldn't you want to do that though? Like, that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Because it would cost you another $400,000 to get your partner up there.
Yeah.
Oh, good point. Good point. You need to bring somebody up there. You gotta.
Yeah.
You know what? And plus, you have to. You have to like pay. Okay. All right. So we're talking about. Let's just say the ticket costs about $250,000, right? So you need $255,000 because you need probably the $5,000 to like hire like a high class hooker, and so the grand total would be $505,000 to get in space with a hooker for sex.
Are you actually doing the math for all of this? Are you serious? Oh man.
No, man. Okay, like, listen. There has to be like that one, like, our human lives are so short, right? Mm-hmm. And having sex in various different places adds much needed color to a short-lived life. Like, you don't want to die and be like, I didn't have sex in every possible place that I could possibly think of. No?
Yeah. That's so true.
Like, sex is beautiful. Sex is a beautiful thing, and like, there's so many different ways to do it. And you just want to try it all, right? And I don't know. That's the way I see it. And so, if I was trying to get up into space, for damn sure, I'm going to see if I can have sex up there, because I would be one of like, I would be the 1%. I would be more than the 1%. I'd be like the 0.0002%.
Probably will be in history.
Who has ever had sex in space?
In the first person, you'll be in the history book. All the children will be learning about you, reading about you.
No, they had to have had astronauts that have done it.
I don't think so, man.
Definitely.
All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the show. We'll be back next week. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the week after. Thank you. I said no name. Big shout out. I know today's schedule was not as tight. I promise next show we will do better. Have a good one. Thank you, Carl.
Have a good one, man. Thank you.
Guys.